Can anyone hear? Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if I start talking so fast. You're just gonna say stop, 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 stop. Okay. I know when to start. I'd like to address the issue of society seeking perfection through embryo screening, and I'd like to say that this is not the only way. I mean, there are other ways where society seeks perfection. One such way is plastic surgery. So A, just blame society for seeking perfection, that's number one. Number two, stop plastic surgeries because, I mean, you cannot, if you ban embryo screening, then I get an ugly baby, I can still alter him through plastic surgery. That's one way.
Permission? Do you want
to Oh, okay, except, does it take from my time?
Of course not, of course not.
No, the question doesn't, but
the answer does, and it takes from it.
Denied. Sorry. Okay. I'd like to state one point, my discussion here, that people, when they hear the term congenital anomalies, I'm sorry to say, they think of a disease, like they've proven, they think of a disease that deforms their baby, that makes him look ugly. They don't think of the disease as potentially life-threatening, as a disease that could kill. So most congenital diseases, or some of them, can kill. An example of that is congenital heart problems. Congenital heart problems, problems affecting the development of circulation inside the fetus in the mother's womb, like for instance, pulmonary atresia, tricuspid atresia. The fetus the infant born with it, suffers from problems. Circulation does not provide adequate O2 supply for the baby, so he has cyanosis, pulmonary edema, mental retardation, and all these problems, and he could actually die. Another congenital disease or problem is congenital diaphragmatic hernia. I don't know if anyone has heard about it. Congenital diaphragmatic hernia is when a part of the diaphragm during development, I'm sorry, denied. Part of the diaphragm is thin or relatively absent, okay? So contents of the abdomen can leak inside the thorax and they can crowd the lungs, prevent development of the lungs. The lung is underdeveloped. The baby that is born to that disease actually has problems breathing his whole life. These are certain congenital diseases, and for instance, there's congenital lack of thymus. Baby born with that has infections his whole life, and he could die from these infections. So there's one common thing that unites all these congenital problems is that they could kill. Another thing that unites them is that they are relatively asymptomatic, meaning that after the baby is born, you don't notice that he has these problems, and he could actually, after hospitalization, he could leave, and he could come back with complications, and now it's too late to save him. So what I'm saying here is, and there's actually a study to prove that with congenital heart diseases, around 8,000 in every 1,000 babies born, 8 suffer from congenital heart diseases. We found a shocking 24% of those leaving the hospital after discharge, they're leaving the hospital, they come back months later with problems. You don't know that they had congenital heart diseases. You find out, 10%, you find out through their autopsy. So this is a shocking percentage. 10% babies die, and you only find that they had congenital heart diseases through their autopsy. And also,
point of information, please.
Sorry, denied. For limited time. So sorry, and I have to talk a lot. Okay, so this is the problem. 10% die, you find out that they had congenital diseases through their autopsy. 22% of them, it's too late, and they have severe complications, making it harder and harder for them to treat. Okay? So I'm just discussing here that it's not really the fault of the doctor that they misdiagnosed. It could happen the whole time, but you really could have prevented that through simple testing. I mean, embryo screening tells you that these diseases are there. It tells you this kid is going to have congenital heart problems. Help save him before he dies. It tells you this kid is going to have a lack of thymus. He's going to come to you with a lot of infections. Cure him before something goes wrong. Cure him before he dies. Now these babies, they're vulnerable. They rely on us to protect them, to save their life, and you as doctors, it's your responsibility. Take that simple test. I'm not going to blame you if you don't diagnose him. I'm going to blame you for not taking a test that could have pointed out that he's going to die in a couple of months. Also, as parents, just picture that.
You say I have 1 minute left.
Okay, as parents, picture that you killed your baby just because you didn't take a simple test. This is really, really horrible, and studies have proven that. I can answer any point of information.
Now, point of information. You forgot your point of information.
Congenital diseases could really occur even after embryo screening.
Yes.
You cannot prevent this.
You can prepare for it. This is my argument. Extra time to prepare. It's just like with the Down syndrome thing. I know someone, I know that for a fact, and in the age very long ago, Down syndrome was not really that common. Mothers didn't know they had a kid with Down syndrome, and if they did know, they'd have extra time to prepare. All I'm asking is that embryo screening, it does not seek perfection in your kids. It does not tell you your kids have to be pretty. Embryo screening tells you to prepare.
30 seconds.
Prepare. Have extra time to prepare how you're going to deal with that kid. Have extra time to prepare how you can save that kid so he doesn't die. This is what I'm arguing. Preparation.
Another question. You mentioned that 10% of the babies die,
They die.
and they know the reason after autopsy.
Yes.
Well, what is the percentage of the embryos being eliminated in the labs?
I'm sorry.
The percentage of the embryos eliminated in the labs.
Oh.
You never
okay.
know.
Yes, I don't know that. That's IVF and that's another topic. I'm talking about, my point is here, embryo screening and preparation. Testing your embryo, knowing how his life is going to be later on. I'm not talking about IVF, which is another topic.
Okay, thank you. Time's up. Okay, third, opposition. Okay, sorry. Chairman.
You mentioned congenital heart conditions
Yes.
and lack of thymus. These conditions can be known through a regular ultrasound.
Yes, if they were known, mistakes can happen. This is what I'm saying, I'm arguing here. 24% of kids who have congenital heart problems actually left without being diagnosed. I know there are tests, but there are tests that could tell you earlier, because you could make a mistake and not diagnose this infant, and this infant could die. So why not prepare early? This is what I'm arguing here.
Thank you.
Cool?